probably wondering why my mental state is in such disarray. It's mainly due to stress from my language arts class, my tech ed class, my French class because I don't take French. I nearly failed lunch. So case in point, my language arts class. So one day I came in late to school and I had to rush to get my stuff. And by the time language arts class rolls around, I have not realized that I forgot my novel. We were reading The Killer Angels in class, and I noticed that I had left my novel in my locker. So I raised my hand and asked the teacher, "Hey, can I go to my locker and get my novel?" And the teacher decides it's a better idea. So she wants me to go and borrow a class copy, and in return, she gets to borrow something of mine. So in order to do the useless junk work that we're required to do, I borrow a piece of useless junk from the class, and in return, she gets to borrow some of my useless junk. Yeah, sounds reasonable. But the thing is that I kind of need the stuff I brought to class. Wow, tough crowd. So what do I have? I've got a worksheet that I need to do with the novel, and I've got the pencil that I need to write with, and I've got my cat, and I don't even know why my cat's in my binder. And I cannot part with any of this stuff for the amount of time that I need in order to do all my work. So my teacher grabs my lunchbox, and oh snap, girl! There's a problem with that. I put a couple of jawbreakers in my lunchbox, only they weren't jawbreakers, they were gumballs because I cannot differentiate spherical candy. And bringing gum to school, that's a bad thing. It's like, I'd probably be better off if I walked into lunch, took out my sandwich, and it was a weed sandwich with a syringe sticking out of it. And you know, maybe some mozzarella, because you can't go wrong with mozzarella. And so I realized, you know, I'm in a hole here. I'm in a metaphorical hole. And the first metaphorical rule about being in a metaphorical hole is to stop metaphorically digging, metaphorically speaking. So I grab back my lunchbox and say, you know what, I just won't get any of my work done. That's what I deserve for forgetting my novel. I'll just sit here and not be disruptive. To which my teacher responds, "You're just gonna sit there and be quiet and non-disruptive? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with your mind?" No, my teacher doesn't have a Southern accent, but we're reading a book about the Civil War, so I thought it was appropriate. Well, then my teacher sent me down to the principal's office, and that was just not good because I now can't find my cat, and that cat still owes me $3. And I've dealt with stress like this for basically the entire time that I've been in school. And when I graduate from middle school at the end of this year and go on to high school, I don't know what that's going to be like. But you know, when stress makes me wake up screaming in the middle of the night, I usually calm myself down by hunting out highly sensitive explosives in a square grid using mathematical intuition and reasoning. Some of you may have played this before. It's called Minesweeper. Now here's a question. Where did those mines come from? Now, one theory is that Windows was locked in a decades-long biological, chemical, and cybernetic war between its arch rival, Apple. And this left trillions of mines strewn all across Windows that Microsoft now calls on both of its users to locate at literally no risk to their personal safety. And the other theory is that in Windows 1, Minesweeper was just a way to teach people how to use the mouse. Well, this is now subject to a fierce debate between no less than two people. Me and my hallucinations. Now, keep in mind, this unicorn is very persuasive. But come on, do you really think that they would use this to teach people how to use a mouse? I think deadly war is far more likely. Interesting thing about Windows, you know, since about 2000, they've sort of alternated between, hey, this is a pretty good operating system, easy to use, nice and good, and then the other ones are just that's it, I'm about to defenestrate my PC, you know, throw Windows out a window. Windows ME, you know, so many bugs you should probably get an exterminator, and Windows XP was okay, and then Windows Vista, They were worried about in 2008 that the Large Hadron Collider was going to produce a black hole. They should have been worried about Vista. Vista sucked a lot more. And then Windows 7 was okay, and now they came out with Windows 8, and I tried it out, and I thought, okay, this is okay. And you know, I really liked how they had this counterintuitive new interface and making it so not user-friendly. But then I realized they got rid of Minesweeper. It's no longer coming free with the computer. You have to download it for free off the Windows Store. No, that's not what you do with Minesweeper. You know, I just cannot believe that Windows would do this. With all the great features on Windows 8, and yet they removed Minesweeper. I could get over them removing Pinball on Vista, but this is the last straw. You're dead to me, Windows.